What's up, mother effers? Welcome back to They're Turning the Freaking Pods Gay. I thought I was going to do this for a little bit without Cole, and he's arrived. What's up, father?
Hello, good morning.
Were you fathering your children, putting them down?
Fathering my children, yes.
I just started.
Okay.
I was actually going to enter with a monologue, so...
What's going on?
I was going to let everyone know about our Patreon, about our new channel, being that's the place where, the only place to find it. Bonus episode also happening once a month, as well as behind the scenes. And I was going to get into discussing the $800 foot mastering offer I received on Instagram.
Yes, I'd like to follow up on that. Did you ever respond to your inquisition?
I did not respond. You read it, right?
I did read it. Would you like me to read it out loud?
Can you? It's hard for me to actually look at it.
Yes, I'd love to read it out loud.
But part of me does want to respond so badly and be like, what do you mean?
An anonymous sender says, hey, my bad. Oh, we got the leaf blower going.
That's right.
Just in time.
It won't be that loud.
He says, hey, my bad if this is random, but I was wondering if you'd be open to making a private video for $800. It would involve showing your feet and following some specific instructions. And it would be 1 minute long. No nudity at all. I usually do these video offers with people who catch my eye on Instagram, and I prefer to do recurring videos, so I'd pay you $800 per video. Everything stays between us and private. Oh, I lost it here. I can do Cash App or Venmo. Happy to provide proof of payments I've sent to others for this offer too. Let me know if you'd be interested. I see
$1 million.
I see no downside.
Other than the shame my ancestors and future offspring might have of me.
I see you...
But I could still see myself
Scrooge
doing it.
McDuck swan diving into a pool of gold coins.
With my toes.
If you follow this business path.
Scrooge McDuck swan diving.
Well, what it really comes down to is I feel inadequate. I feel less than. I feel shame because
me. You're talking about me.
Because
right.
I'm on here half the time with my
I feel less than
my little river dolphins out, and I have yet to receive an inquiry. It's something about the jungle feet, maybe, that you have.
It could be.
Something about the Amazonian hooves that you possess that the people want.
Thank God to my mom being from Ecuador, the Amazon jungle, most uncontacted tribes in Ecuador to this day, including her. Could have to do something with the tanness of it, and then maybe just like being at the beach.
There's no way that his leaf blower is not getting picked up, and now we got the Scion XB starting up
guys,
as well.
This is the loudest.
Let's turn on the sauna. What else can we turn on in here?
But let's
open and close the garage.
We're not. This isn't a podcast studio where people are tracking. This is a literal garage.
We're in the trenches.
In the trenches.
He's leaf blowing nothing. There's nothing there. He's leaf blowing concrete.
Well, you remember when we first started this? Me and Joey, we'd always do Wednesday around 11 noon, and we would always see the gardeners, and we'd be like, "Oh, they're leaf blowing."
Yeah,
we've stuck to Thursday now, but he is leaf blowing nothing.
Now.
He's literally actually
he's doing nothing. He's sent to sabotage. Look he's coming closer. He's doing the middle of the street. Is he a city worker? Is he a public worker?
He's doing honestly a great job, but he's leaf blowing nothing.
Let me say something. You are...
I'd do it, but I feel like if I do it, I'd get caught because I'd have to block out my tattoo.
That's what I was going to say, is you're compromised.
I'm compromised.
With the tattoo. You would be identifiable.
100%.
So either you'd have to get some sort of makeup.
Yeah.
Or ask him if...
or use the left foot.
Ask him if it would be $400 for just 1 foot. Or if a piece of duct tape in the imagery enhances his experience, or he would be
Yeah.
Well,
I'm just,
either way, I would do it.
That's $800.
It's a lot of money.
And that could be more to pay, but depending on how much effort I put into it.
That's a lot of money, yeah.
If you were in my position, what would you do? Would you ask him for clarification? You hate the leaf blower, don't you?
Yeah, I can't
he's gonna
focus.
wake up your child.
Yeah, the child's probably awake as well.
You want to go check on him?
Let's see how long this guy goes for.
What's good is that it doesn't
Here, everybody.
He clearly doesn't. He doesn't know we're running a show
Is that
right
a
now.
Makita, a Stihl?
He doesn't know we're running a show.
A Milwaukee.
But it really does. It muffles it out. This mic muffles it out a lot.
I'm sure.
I swear. We've had this happen 20 episodes.
If I got that message, in all honesty, I would not do it.
You wouldn't do it?
I wouldn't do it.
Too much shame?
Too much shame. Just shame.
Shame, yeah. I was trying to explain that to people, and I'm like...
I imagine my sons one day finding out that their father sold pictures of his feet to another man. I couldn't live with myself.
Yeah.
Or my grandfather, a little angel floating over to both my grandfathers having a cigar in heaven and giving them a little scroll, and they opened it up and it said, Cole sold pictures of his feet on the internet to another man.
You know what's interesting? With this change,
just put their cigars out. And okay, now we got the FedEx
truck, guys.
Sherman tank.
We're back on a Wednesday.
The guy's got to stop. Let me go check on the baby.
Yeah. He's blowing the hose. The hose is wrapped up. all that being said, foot up. Yeah, just the dilemma that we're dealing with, explaining this to people, is that you would be selling these feet pics to men. I'm not gay. Cole's not gay. Nothing against the gays. But what would they be doing with those pictures? That's the issue.
Gooning.
Guess what? They'd be probably gooning, which is a word I learned last year, and it's great.
My question about the leaf blower right now is, here's his work truck, it appears. He has no lawnmower. He has no hedge trimmers. Is he paid just to be a leaf blower? He did no arbory, no trimming or cutting or grooming.
This is what once
beforehand.
Once again, Art Senior might be the kingpin of the industry of plumbers and gardeners, and this guy might owe him something for his life. He might have plumbed this guy's house for free, and he owes him blowing once a week for 25 years.
Did they paint the house?
They painted the house a while ago. Yeah.
Am I just noticing?
Yeah, I'd say maybe 3-4 years ago.
You're kidding me.
Maybe a year ago. Maybe 2.
It's been white.
Within 1 to 4 years, it's been painted.
And it was like a beige or a tan or something before?
Yeah. Me and Joey have also stood outside as kids in the middle of the street with eggs and chucked eggs at their house and left a stain on the big white part for probably 15 years.
The second story white part? I was just looking at that.
Sorry, guys. I think you knew that we did that. Sorry if you watched this. Art.
Thinking,
we were 9 years old.
Who designed... Why wouldn't they put a window there? It looks so strange. Just a white wall on the second story.
2 things exactly. Maybe part of the attic is maybe there?
No, there's a window on the other side. It's a room.
It's a room, so that means nothing.
It's a strange design.
Or it's the bathroom. Maybe there's a bathroom there with no window. Maybe the window's facing that way. Same thing on that house, too.
Maybe because the sun would heat it up too much?
No, because the sun sets and goes over there. We need to know what's going on with these houses. Some of them, what's weird is that these houses looking out, you have single story, double story, single story, tri-level, single story, double story, tri-level. Did they just have a fun little, let's see what we're going to do on this lot every couple days?
Well, what I learned recently about my home is that my little area was the model homes for the rest of the neighborhood before the rest of the neighborhood was built. So if you were thinking about buying property, like buying
Went
the
to your
house before it
neighborhood.
was built, like saying, "Oh, we like this house, we want this one, we'll take it over there." And I have no gas in my home. It's all electric. I don't have a gas stove. I don't have
Your current home now, you're in right now.
Yeah. And it stinks. It wasn't a deal breaker, but I despise an electric
Why?
stovetop. You would know if you tried
I've
to
had
cook
one
your
before.
eggs on one.
I have.
They're not good.
I think the first house
They
I've
cook
ever,
weird.
the first
If
apartment I
anything-
ever had that. Yeah.
If you spill anything out of the pan, it just like emulsifies and melts to the top and starts smoking and steams up.
Yeah.
If you're cooking it with a gas range, you spill something, it might burn a little, but you just wipe it up after, and it just falls down in the little pit.
So that's the main reason.
If you're cooking something on a gas stove and you're about done, you turn the heat off, you turn the flame off, it cools down in 60 seconds. You press off on your thing.
It's hot for a
It's
while.
hot it's like it's still cooking for like 10 minutes. It's
Right.
just as hot.
This is going to sound so dumb.
And also, go ahead.
No, what's up?
Well, just primally, I think it
You like having fire.
yes, maybe it's some sort of caveman brain in me where I need to cook with fire.
If you had to roast marshmallows on the stove really quick, you could do it.
Yeah, but
For
just
JMO.
knowing that there's a flame, it means
Yeah.
maybe primally in the caveman brain, we have flame, we are safe, we are with village, we have
Yeah.
meat. You know what I mean?
Yes. Do you have heat in your house?
Yeah.
How does a heater work if there's no flame, if there's no gas?
Ask Jeff Bezos. I don't know, dude.
Yeah, that was my immediate first. Because like I feel like my house,
Ask
there's a little
Palantir.
flame and a furnace comes, you hear it go.
Why don't you ask Perplexity and
that's freaking
Palantir?
Sam Altman.
Ask Sam Altman.
He kind of looks funky. He kind of looks like a skinny horse, doesn't he? Sam Altman.
I'm not sure which one Altman is.
He's
Yeah.
the one that like supposedly like might have like.
Yeah. They're government agents.
Yeah.
But who's the other AI guy with like, he kind of looks like Kenny G, the saxophone player, with like long curly hair, and he like sells that he's got this weird eccentric personality. Obviously maybe he does, but like in meetings and stuff, he'll like get up on the chair like this and like be in the meeting like this, and he's always fidgeting and touching stuff.
I wonder if it's
He's,
the guy from Anthropics or Claude. Claude.
He might be Palantir. I don't know.
Palantirs would be freaking what's his name?
The German.
No, Peter Thiel.
Yeah.
Sam Altman is
I
OpenAI,
know.
which is ChatGPT,
Who is
and
this
then
guy? Peter Thiel's also giving talks on the Antichrist.
and then Anthropics is the company that makes Cloud, I believe,
Let's
which
see.
is the new AI.
AI
that-
tech guy,
Look up Anthropics.
curly hair, eccentric. This is AI tech guy, curly hair, eccentric.
AI tech guy, curly hair, Mark Zuckerberg.
It's not coming up.
Look up Anthropic CEO.
Anthropic CEO. Yeah, this guy has curly hair, but no, it's not him.
Interesting.
CEO.
I'm really behind.
Tech. Weird.
Are you aware of like Anthropics and the Department of War and all the things that happened with what was going on?
I have not really kept up to speed on it. From what I've gathered, Anthropic claims to be good, like for humans, and like Peter Thiel and maybe people behind the other side of the spectrum are like, they might become our overlords. Whatever happens. Maybe we weren't designed to be the smartest things on earth. We'll see what happens, kind of thing. And Anthropic is like, no, humans first. Is that correct or no?
That seems correct. Yeah, I think they were being this is from just word of mouth people. You know, I'm not like researching or studying this. This just came word of mouth in conversation. But I guess the whole like Venezuela thing that happened, us invading.
Yeah, that was a little flash in the pan.
Yeah, well, that was done.
I heard something about that.
Using Claude Anthropic's, using like plugging in like how would we invade? Like they used AI, they used Anthropic, they used this company to really use AI to like to go and do the thing.
Get Maduro.
And Anthropic, I guess, pushed back and basically said like, one, you're not going to be using our technology to surveil Americans. And two, you're not going to be using our technology to kill anyone.
Heard that.
So I guess they pushed back, and that's when I guess Trump and the Department of War were basically saying like, we either need to like remove you from the government so you go bankrupt or something, or like we need to take you over and use you because you're too good of an asset to leave. Yeah. And I guess like something happened there, and I guess OpenAI, which is Sam Altman, which is ChatGPT, came to them and said, "Okay, you can use
we'll do it." Yeah.
So that would be more of a
Speaking of I
don't know. I got to look into it.
The Department of War. I think we should just go back to. I think
Department of Defense.
Department of Defense
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's actually like more alpha to be the Department of Defense than the Department of War. It's more samurai.
The art of war. You are defending and staying clear of war is much like. Have you read The Art of War? It's a book by Shitsu.
No, I haven't read it. No.
Sun Tzu.
No.
It's all about war and like ancient samurai teachings, and it's like the most of the book is about like staying away from war.
Yeah.
Staying away, defending, preventing, being sneaky peeky, and then if you do get into war, that's when it's like aggression and
they happen to be like, hey, we're the Department of War now, and then get into war like a month later. It's like
it's the weirdest thing. Yeah. I just think Department of Defense is just like, I don't know. Cooler. I look at it almost as in like a sports way and like a samurai way, to where it's just in a jiu-jitsu martial art way, to where it's like, I want to be away and defend and prevent. But if you actually do something,
you will learn.
Yes. Not like we're the aggressors. That makes it like it's not a good well, if it was a propaganda tool, it's failing completely. Yeah. Because who wants to be like, yeah, let's go to war if like no one's doing anything to us.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, Hegseth he's in a blender right now.
It's the that guy sent me when he was like holding the.
What'd he do?
He was just like, we want to hold on to him tight to the rod.
Oh yeah, he goes. he gestured doing a throttle in the speech, and Trump like did like a, wow, yeah. It's just like those two are just a couple of buffoons up there, and Trump just threw or I don't know if it just happened, but he threw Hegseth like under the bus.
Oh right.
Did you hear that?
Where he said Hegseth said, "Let's do it."
Yeah, he goes, and we decided. Pete, I think Pete said it first. Let's get him, And Pete's like, he's thinking like, damn, I'm cooked.
Yeah. Do you think I wonder if he did say
it. Of course he did. He thinks he's an alpha bro, and he's like, Biden was weak. Everybody before us were weak. They weren't America first. People forgot how tough America is. We need to show them what's up. So he thinks he's going to get in there and like be this champion, and everyone's going to rally behind him because he wasn't afraid to, show our might. And it's like, nobody wants that, bro.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that.
What's interesting, it's like, it's a weird back and forth because it's like.
Tell the people, let me check on this.
Yeah. I do want, whatever America does, I want us to win, right? I want us to do good, except just when we're doing those things, whatever they may be, whether it's take out the president of Venezuela, which still don't know much about why, but like that's awesome. We pulled it off and no one died. And then same with this whole Iran war. It's just like, well, I personally have no say whether we do this or not. My opinion is my opinion, and if I was still in the military, I would be like, okay, as long that's the new. The new mission, and I'm not here. But it's like, if you do something, I would at least appreciate we do it good, and we win. Like the last thing you'd want is like, all right, we're going to go to war with Iran, and it's going to be 30 years until it's like I would rather it be us
what would
do
happen,
something good.
Is this just part of the
get in and get out?
Is this just part of the game and part of what you sign up for, and something you have to face as a potential reality, where if you were still in the military and you now became involved in this conflict, and say it escalates and it turns into some sort of, guerrilla style fight circa the Iraq War in Tehran, where there's boots on the ground, going into houses, hunkering down, hunting guys down, and guys that are on your team that you're very close with, maybe one of them gets killed. Later in your life, or in that moment even, would you think maybe it would be later in your life when you would have full perspective and maybe news would come out about the reality of why this happened, just like with Iraq, we now know. At the time, we thought we're getting back for 9/11 and weapons of mass destruction. Now we know it was a farce. So when you get to that point and say you lost people that you cared about, would you know in your heart, like, and they died for nothing, like we shouldn't have been there, kind of thing? You know what I mean? Or do you have to just mentally chalk it up to, I signed up for the military in this country, I did what was asked of me, I'm not the decision maker, I am the force? I don't know. Is that too heavy, or am I out of line?
I guess like in a way, you signed up, you're volunteering to do a mission, and you're not there to basically dictate that mission. You're there to say yes. That's why, like, it's very honor. That's why people say thank you for your service, because it's, even though it's kind of cliche to be like, all right, I get it, but it's like, in a way, you are there to say yes to your orders for the country, whether they are something you agree in or disagree in. You are there as a tool for the country.
Sure.
So that's why people say thank you for your service, because you're putting your body and life and your personal opinion out of the picture to do the mission and be the tool.
And I think in no way anybody in the military is ever implicated in the grand scale of the missions or the actions of the conflict they're involved in. Yes, they have behavior to uphold while they're there, as far as women, civilians, that kind of thing. But I don't think you can ever implicate someone in the military for actions they're involved in. Just like in Vietnam, you can't say, what were you thinking, enlisting? Didn't you know that wasn't worth it, or that wasn't in the best interest of the country? But at how far does a conflict have to go into darkness to be so obvious to everyone that it's nefarious for then someone in the military to or considering enlisting to think, I don't know if this is morally the correct thing? Like, that shift might happen in our lifetime in the near future, where patriotic young men who do love this country might choose to not enlist because they have seen Iraq, however this goes in Iran, Syria, whatever, all these things that get portrayed after they happen as kind of ill-intended and serving the elites and lies to the American public, that the numbers might just drop off. I'm not forming really cohesive statements.
I hear what you're saying. I think it just like anything comes and goes, the propaganda machine will come and go and paint the picture of there's terrorists we need to go kill, and they're going to be against America. And once again, I still think that the Iranian regime is bad and doing bad things,
for sure,
and is a terrorist regime.
Yeah.
The amount of people and Iranians I meet and met and say their family's still there says the whole country believes it.
But is it our duty to be the police of that?
Correct.
Or do we also look at plenty of places in Africa
look at
where this
anywhere.
happens, and all of China, and just think
Exactly.
that's what they do. That's their MO. We have our country to think.
Why don't we go to North Korea tomorrow?
Cuba's
If
right
that's the
there.
case. Exactly. So
Yeah.
that's why then it's like, okay, we can go to every country and solve so many problems. And it is, as an American, or whatever your religion is or your moral code, it is good to help people, if they're American or not. It's a noble thing, and that's why people would still join special forces, the military. Be like, you know what, I want to go help the Iranian innocent people.
Yeah.
But I think just the reason why we're doing it now is the issue. It's the problem.
I think
we're getting finagled.
I think the armed forces and the recruitment of people in the military has coasted off of the noble, almost Greek fable of World War II and defeating the Nazis, and the divinity of how we have been portrayed in that conflict in the 40s. They've ridden that wave, and I feel like that wave is starting to recede back into the ocean, where like in Gulf Desert Storm, in the first Iraq War in the early 2000s, a lot of those guys who went, their grandfathers, who might have only been in their 70s at the time, were in World War II. So they hear those stories, they have the reverence for their grandfather and for men like him, and that history is much more recent. From 2000, it's only 50 years ago, as opposed to now it's 80 years ago or whatever, 75 years ago. And I don't think that they can use that as not that they actively ever intentionally used it as a selling point, but I think the confidence and the morale of the country as viewed by the world, like, look what we did look what we did in the 1940s to Germany. Look how we saved the world then. Don't question whatever we're going to do, because every time we're doing something, we're going to save the world. And now it seems like the curtain's being pulled back a little bit. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's this weird thing to where I think it's exactly what.
God bless our troops. Anybody involved in this conflict in Iran, God speed to you. But I have no ill words to say about anybody enlisted. But as it looks now, and I'm no political science major or historian, but just the pulse of the world, military guys in the cabinet, like Kent, like actively saying, no, I'm not going to be a part of this. Allegedly, even J.D. Vance is opposed to this. So they say. You know what I mean? The vice president thinks this is not a good idea. So if that's the feeling that's coming from the top, they've got to understand that there might be some boomers that are just Trump loyalists that think this is good and they can't have a nuke and all that kind of stuff. Of course, there's a huge majority, not a majority, but a huge amount of people that think this is all good and fun. But I think overall, it's from day one, it has not been something well received by the population of the country. No. Correct?
Correct. What I think the only thing the only thing that I'm getting the whatever you call it, my heebie-jeebie spider sense feelings and talking to people that's keeping this thing going is the fact that all the Iranians that are American patriots and want Iran to be like this country and have family in that country are basically being like, yes, get rid of this
but there's not that many Iranians here. Help. There's not that many Iranians here to paradigm shift the feeling of the whole country. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of the stuff about the protesters in Iran, well, first of all, it seems
maybe all the Muslims here in general.
There's a ton of evidence that Israel egged on and sparked all of those protests anyways.
Yeah.
In Iran.
Yeah. That
got all those civilians killed. I don't have the facts on that, but I've seen some of that stuff.
Yeah.
But anyways, all the stuff we see about the Iranian people saying thank you, not American Iranians, but Iranians saying thank you, Donald Trump, and having parades in the street because the Ayatollah was killed and all of the hoorah around that. I've seen equal videos of tons of Iranians in Iran like celebrating that they crowned his son the new Ayatollah, like happy about it. I think it's not a North Korea style everybody feels one way about the control, like they all are oppressed. They all there's a regime, and then everyone else is subjects of the regime and at a detriment to their life. I think there's a good amount of people in that country that like the way things are going.
Yeah, for sure. Like people that are super devoutly religious in Islam and want to live that way.
Yeah.
Are probably like, no, we want to live this way.
Yeah.
It's just why you see people come to other Europe countries and want to start
Those
living
are the people
like that.
that have more Western ideals.
Yeah. More Western ideal. It'd be like the Kurds in Iraq and the Peshmerga in Iraq. It's like they want a more Americanized version of Iraq.
And speaking of JD Vance, I had heard that the Iranian regime refused to negotiate or speak with Kushner because they viewed him as just a puppet of Israel, and that they said, well, we will have no discussions. We want to talk to JD Vance. I don't know if he's going to go over there or what, but they said we don't want to talk to Jared Kushner. We want to talk to JD, and then maybe we can get something done because they know that JD don't want it. Yeah.
Well, it's also we want to talk to the vice president. We don't want to talk to your daughter's husband.
Yeah.
You know, he's not elected into office.
No.
The vice president was.
No, that guy might be the total orchestrator of everything, huh?
Yeah.
I think so.
Could be.
I think he might be kind of.
I mean, I think
Trump holds that guy's word over anybody else's.
When I listen to him, he is smooth, calculated, smart, deal maker, good talker. I mean, just like problem solver, it seems. Calm. But like, which would make sense if he was the orchestrator of things. That would be like, okay, well, no shit, you are super smooth.
Yeah.
It's just smooth. Or not. Or maybe he's literally not. And maybe he's just trying to make things right and people are blaming it on him.
Did you see Jesse Ventura, former Frogman, on Piers Morgan?
I think I might have recently.
He said, I haven't seen a Trump in the military. He's had 3 wives and kids with all of them. I've never seen a Trump name enlisted in the military. If you are going to start a war and send other people's kids to die for that cause, then you should be willing to send your own. So I'm calling on you, Baron Trump. Baron Trump, enlist in the military now.
Wow.
Jesse's gnarly.
Wow. Insane.
I live in the Baja. I live in Tijuana. I live in the Baja. There's men down there that can build a house in 3 hours. It takes 3 years to build a house in California.
The Baja.
I live in the Baja. I'm going to do a status check.
Status check.
Talk about your time in the Baja.
Status check. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. For the rest of this episode, we'll be moving to Patreon for our second bonus episode. This one's a short one because Cole has the baby in the car. But check out Patreon. They're turning the pods gay. Peace out.
Well, they're eating the cats and they're eating the dogs. Who's gonna carry the boats and the logs? 'Cause they're